Thank you all for taking the time to join us for this meeting. I hope this will be productive and open some lines of communication between clubs across South Carolina. I think we're probably one of the strongest sections, at least in Roanoke. And we've got some vibrant and growing clubs in South Carolina. I'm John Jenner, and I'm the trustee for York County Amateur Radio Society in Rock Hill. And so the purpose of the meeting is to introduce each other to each other, our clubs and who we are and what roles we play within the clubs or the ARRL, and how we can help each other. If you have some successes you'd like to share about what you're doing right now, if you have some items you'd like to promote between the clubs, the Ham Fest, service things, anything like that you would like to share with everybody. And then if you have some pain points where you need some help, we'd be glad to, share if somebody's got successes in one of the clubs or the ARRL's got some advice for us. We'd be glad to share that and try to help each other out. And hopefully this will be beneficial and it'll grow and we'll bring more clubs to the table. I know it's hard. A lot of clubs meet different nights of the week. And so we have to make a choice between meeting. I had to pick a day. And so Tuesday was pretty much the only day that we in Rock Hill don't have much going on. So that's why I chose Tuesday. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mark, let him introduce himself. I'm sure everybody's familiar with him. And then we'll just kind of go around the table here. I'll just call people's names as we go, since Mark's the ranking dignitary here.
And he's in a suit.
Oh dear. Hi, my name's Mark Tarpley, N4UFP, and I volunteer my time as section manager for South Carolina. I volunteer my time for the league, and the section manager is the lucky or luckless individual, depends on the day, who is responsible for the South Carolina field organization. There are a number of people. In fact, one of them is here tonight, AE4VJ Brad. He's in the field organization. He is my technical coordinator. He helps a lot with engineering and technical issues. And I think Gordo is also in tonight's meeting. Gordon, W4EGM, he's the public information coordinator. I think there are probably some other people who are either past or present members of the field organization, like Tammy and Ronnie Livingston. And I'm thrilled to see Ed, K3DNE. Was lucky enough to see him at the annual meeting of the Swamp Fox contest group. He's a great guy and does a great job leading that organization. So I'm thrilled that he's here tonight. And on top of all that, I'm actually a member of the York County Amateur Radio Society, the Swamp Fox contest group. And I think right now that may be it. We'll see what happens after I move later this summer. From the league's point of view and from mine personally, one of the most important things in amateur radio, it's a club. The clubs really matter. If you think about amateurs and how they move along in the hobby, typically they'll become licensed. And one of the first things they often do is join a club. So clubs are kind of the backbone of what happens in amateur radio. I think that's wonderful. And we have lots of different clubs. They have lots of different interests. And I think any club, in order to be successful, needs to be able to connect with folks who are members. And once it connects with them, it needs to keep them engaged. It's a contest club, and I really have to tip my hat to the Swamp Fox contest group here. They do a good job of connecting with and engaging their members, and they have lots of stuff going on throughout the year. We have other clubs that do a great job of connecting with their members, although it may be in a different way if it's a general interest club. But the important thing is to stay engaged with the membership, and anything the league can do, anything that I can do at the field organization to promote that, just let me know and I'll be there. One final comment about clubs. Clubs do lots of great things, and I want to make sure that clubs get the recognition and credit that they deserve. So when your club is doing things, let me know about it so I can give you a plug in my monthly section report. No, you are not going to eat my dinner. I have a cat that lives in my shack, and she's 15 years old, and she owns pretty much the entire known universe, knows of no rules, does whatever the heck she wants. Yeah, well, in short, she's a cat. Anyway, if you to go back to where we were, clubs really are the backbone, and I think it's important that we do support clubs in any way that we can. I'm willing to do what it takes to get that done. And finally, as I talked about just before the cat incident, one of the things I want to do is make sure that clubs get recognition. And if your club is doing something that you think might be newsworthy, please let me know. I want to make sure that when clubs do good things, people know a lot about it, because that will encourage more people to connect with the club. And then in turn, the club has an opportunity to engage those amateurs. Anyway, that's it from my end. We get to the end of this. If folks have questions, I'll be happy to answer them if I can, or point you in the direction of somebody who will. John, thanks. I think I've wasted my 5 minutes. Let's move on.
Thanks very much, Mark. I do appreciate it. Go ahead, Brad, introduce yourself and run from there.
I am Brad Humphreys, AE4VJ, as Mark said, the technical coordinator for the section. And I think I might have somehow gotten a assistant director appointment from Jim. I don't know really what all that entails. I think I have to do all the social media as well, really what that entails. But doubling down on what Mark said about clubs and getting us information, he's absolutely right. We want to get whatever you guys are doing out and let everybody know. And sometimes we're starving for information. So, whatever you guys are doing, send Mark an email, send us a note on Facebook for the section's Facebook page, or whatever way, tweet us. We're on every platform except for Instagram, just because I can't manage that too. But we're always looking for stuff to talk about and showcase what's going on in the state with the league.
Thank you, Brad. Appreciate it. Gordon, go ahead and introduce yourself, and that'll take care of the ARRL folks. You're muted, Gordon.
There we go. Yeah, I'm Gordon, W4EGM. I prefer what Mark called me last night, public information czar, but anyhow, no, I'm the public information coordinator for the state, and I'm going to triple down on what Brad and Mark said. Yeah, get us information. I've started a newsletter for all the PIOs, and I end up starved for information. Tell us what you're doing so we can get the word out, so we can share. We're all about communication, and it feels like what I'm doing with the newsletter is broadcasting, because there's no back and forth. It's all going one way. So yeah, give us some information so we can share it. And short and sweet. That's it, John.
Thanks, Gordon. Do appreciate it. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over. Ed, since you're first on my list here, K3DNE from Swamp Fox. Go ahead and introduce what you have going on, and yourself, and a little bit about your club, and maybe some of the things you're highlighting right now.
All right. Thanks, John. I'm Ed, K3DNE. I'm the president of the Swamp Fox Contest Group. And if you're not familiar with us, we are an ARRL affiliated contesting club located entirely within the state of South Carolina. And our main purpose is to compete as a club and enjoy the competition and camaraderie of contesting, or as I've been calling it lately, radio sport. We offer assistance to our other club members with technical issues. We also try to promote good operating practices. Unlike you all probably as part of a local club, we only have one meeting a year. We do get together several other times a year, either live or most recently virtually, but we keep in contact with each other mostly by our club reflector. And it's very active, very busy, as I know John and Mark can attest to. We're always jibber jabbing about something, especially about the last contest that was operated or the next one that's coming up. I've been the member and president now for the last 3 years. The club has grown dramatically in that time period. We've gone from about 25 members. We just hit 50 members. We're a medium-sized contest club by ARRL standards. There's local, medium, and unlimited. So we're in the medium class club. And our most of our purpose is talking and arranging and organizing, operating in contests. So we do a lot of that. We also talk about technical issues when one of our members may have an equipment issue or an antenna issue. We started with just 4 guys over in the Charleston, Somerville area 10 years ago, and it's grown rapidly since then. You asked, John, what we may need help with. I feel a little bit out of place because you all are members of local clubs and you do all sorts of stuff. We do pretty much one thing with our contest club. But one of the things that I've been struggling with as an organizer, leader, president of the club is, as contesters, we are always getting awards, plaques, certificates, gavels, sometimes a trophy, recognition, names, our call signs in QST or in CQ. But one of the things I want to do as a leader is to try to reward some of our members for doing things for the club or going above and beyond. And since I can't give a plaque or a certificate or a gavel, because we all have tons of those hanging on our wall, like John has behind his in the background there, I'm looking for ideas for other things that I can do to reward our members for when they do something special for the club. I have a number of officers that have been along for the ride with me for the last 3+ years now, and some other people that do a lot of things behind the scenes. And I'm always struggling. What can I possibly do? And this last year at our annual meeting, I did go out and I got some Visa gift cards that I handed out to some of the people that are near and dear to my heart. But that felt kind of awkward, and I was wondering what else that I could do. So if you guys have any ideas what you got to do within your clubs, I'm all ears, and I'll take any and all recommendations. John, did I cover everything?
Yeah, I think you did. I don't know if you want to promote the 2 things you're working on actively now with K2L and VODA. I don't know if you're looking for more operators or recruiting operators for that, but you may want to cover that real quick.
Sure. So there's actually 3 things. I'm glad you brought it up. I actually have it on my notes in front of me, and I skipped right over it. So we're actively involved in 3 things that are either contest or even a little bit special event related. The first one is the South Carolina QSO party, which just occurred a couple of weekends ago. Our Vice President, Dave Edmonds, WN4AFP, is the coordinator of the South Carolina QSO party, and the Swamp Fox Contest Group, along with the Columbia Amateur Radio Club, are co-sponsors of the South Carolina QSO party. So that's just come up and it has ended. Of course, next year we'll be recruiting more operators to operate from South Carolina for the SE QSO party. The other thing is Mark Tarpley, N4UFP, got a hold of me in mid-December and asked if the Swamp Fox Contest Group would be interested in coordinating the ARRL Volunteers on the Air event that is ongoing this year. And we have 2 weeks dedicated to the Volunteers on the Air operating event. Our first week was back in the beginning of February. We had a great turnout. We had, oh my goodness, I'm trying to remember how many operators, at least 30 from the state of South Carolina, maybe a little bit more that operated in VODA. We had cumulatively, we got over 17,000 QSOs during our week of operation. Our second week of operation is coming up in mid-July. I think it's July 19th, and it goes for a week. Mark's giving me a nod, so I got the 19th right. And we are looking for operators. We had a quite a number of operators from around the state, and we're looking for more come July. So if anybody is interested, or if you have a club member that is active either in contesting or in POTA, summits on the air, islands on the air, special event operating, and would like to get involved, you can access that information on our website, or or to me directly. But our website is swampfoxcontestgroup.com, and we have a tab on that website, VOTA, and you can go to VOTA there, and you can get all more information about what VOTA is about. Also on the ARRL website, of course, but the local part of this is on our website. And the last thing is we are a strong supporter of the 13 Colonies operating event. Scott, KG9V, I believe, is going to be coordinating that again this year for the second year in a row. Scott does an unbelievably good job coordinating this. And we probably have at least a half a dozen, maybe 10 members of the Swamp Fox Contest Group that also participate in that. So we strongly support the 13 Colonies event, and that'll be coming up this July. I think it's the first week of July. And I know Scott is looking for more participants in that. So all you people from White Cars know Scott, of course, but KG9V is the person to contact with more information about that. Or you can contact me directly, and I'll point you in Scott's direction.
John, may I add something to that?
Yeah, absolutely. Go right ahead.
I want to talk a little bit more about the VOTA events that Ed mentioned. There are really two different kinds of VOTA events going on this year. One is a year-long QSO party, patterned after the Centennial QSO party. And in that one, people are encouraged to make as many contacts with league appointees, league members, league officers as they can, and with each other. The idea is get on the air and make as many contacts as you can. Certain people, like league appointees in the field organization, are worth bonus points. Our director, Roanoke Division Director, Jim Boner, every contact he makes this year on 160, 80, 40, 20, 15, and 10 is worth 225 points. I've had people contact me that live not too far away to work me on all the meetings.
Easy.
Section managers are worth 175 bonus points. But the idea here is for people just to get on the air and make contacts, pure and simple. Ed was talking about the other half of the VOTA event, which is the W1AW/X event, where a club in a particular state activates W1AW for 1 week, maybe two, depends on the situation. And the goal there is to help people make contacts for a special Worked All States award that is achieved by working W1AW from all 50 states. Each state has a W1AW/X operation that will operate 2 different weeks. We had first week in February, and we will be, yes, I think Brad got his last time around in 2014, as I did. And yeah, you can get a nice little state plaque kind of thing. If you're a slacker like me, you just wind up with a certificate, but it works out about the same. But it's a great opportunity for people who want Worked All States, not only to get Worked All States, but interestingly enough, to work the same station 50 times to do it. That doesn't happen very often. I just wanted to add that. Thank you, John.
Yeah, my pleasure, Mark. Thank you for that. Okay. So Ed, there was a couple folks, I don't know if you have the chat open, that had made some suggestions about different things you can do for gifts. Tammy had something about wind chimes. Mark said golden screwdriver from Y Cars. And we have club swag. So we have t-shirts and those kind of things that we hats and koozies and all kinds of stuff. So that's always nice. If you guys have a way to get swag printed with your stuff on it.
I don't, but John, maybe you can share how you do it with me.
Yep,
send me an email or something. That's one of the things I wasn't sure how to do.
Yeah, there's a couple ways we do it, and I'll be glad to share those with you. So we have a company called Printful that hosts most of our t-shirts and jackets and those kind of things. And then we've got some local resources that we use when we want something customized with somebody's call sign and logo on them. So I'll send you some information on that.
Okay, thanks.
And if you need help designing some things, I can help you with that too, since I'm a member of your club as well.
You can make that real easy because that's a print on demand. So you don't have to warehouse anything. They place the order and it shows up.
Printful's great for that. Todd, W7STR, your turn. I'm not sure which club you're with, so I apologize. You're muted. Oh, no audio. You don't have any audio? Okay. All right. Very good. We'll come back to you at another point. Brian, KW4BET down in Chester. How you doing, buddy?
All right. Hope everybody's doing good today. Brian Timms, KW4BET. I'm the president of the Chester Amateur Radio Emergency Service, the Chester Club, trustee, and VE. We meet once a month, second Monday of each month, except for December. December, we do a Christmas party with the families, which is very nice. We do a tailgate in August. So some of y'all have come to it. Hopefully I'll see you this year in August is usually when we do that. We're a rather small club. There's 12 members. Just about a handful that's really active. Like I said, small club. We do have a clubhouse now. That's really the biggest thing that's on our list is bringing it up to where we can, really operate out of it. That's going to take a little bit. Maybe looking at possibly a grant to help us get it up and running like we want. We do meet there. We have our own tower. Have 2 repeaters, 442 meter. Have a GMRS. So it's pretty nice. We've come a long ways in a short time. We did this past Saturday. We've started building a relationship with the emergency management here. We operated during the South Carolina OXCOM, COMEX, pass messages. So that was something kind of new for us. We haven't done anything like that in a while. And Ross, Ross, KG4NWE, we're going to move into doing a little bit more with the ARRLs. We've also started Skywarn. Matter of fact, tonight at 7:30 on the KW4BET repeater. On Thursdays at 7:30 and Tuesdays at 7:30. We do the Piedmont link. We were the Chester repeater and the Union repeater was where it all, in the KW4BET was where all that started. And now we've grown that. So that's pretty popular net. Check us out on our website, W4CHR and the Piedmont link. And thank you. I'm glad to be part of this. Looking forward to good things.
Oh, okay, Brian. Well, thank you for that. And congratulations on the clubhouse. I know that's a big step. And that's one of our keys to success in York County is having our own facility. Your tailgate, is that August or July?
It's in August is when we typically do it. We will jump between the second and third Saturday.
Okay. All right. Is there any?
Usually we'll.
Go ahead.
No, we usually will set one and then have the other as a rain date.
All right. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for help for right now?
Not right now. I mean, we're doing pretty good, but I'll keep you in the loop.
All right. Fantastic. All right. That brings us to, let's see. Tammy, K4TAL.
N4TAL.
N4TAL. Sorry.
That's okay. I turned on my video just for you guys now that I've had my dinner.
Thank you.
So I am a former PIC. I currently serve as PIO for the Columbia Amateur Radio Club. Have membership with the Kershaw Club as well. Used to have membership with the Dutch Fork Amateur Radio Group, but it was just unsustainable to be actively going to 3 club meetings a month and then participating in 3 clubs. We just couldn't sustain it. Right now, we're trying to sustain with 2. And there are advantages and disadvantages to both clubs. Kershaw is a very small club, very much close-knit, older folks that really struggle with outsiders and people who don't live in the county. So we're struggling with some mental blocks there with some of the membership, trying to emphasize that ham radio is about community and how we need to be inclusive and incorporating amateur radio operations from all over the state or all over the country, not just people who live in one county. So just having to do a lot of encouraging there and helping to change some of the older mindsets with clubs. Then with the Columbia Club, we have totally different issues. It's a very large club, very active club. One of our most successful things for the last year and a half has been this 3rd Saturday of the month. We have something they call ham and eggs. That used to be our Rogers Workshop Day, and we would have a workshop where they would build something or solder something or do something once a month. But now it's become more of a social, having breakfast and then having a topic. So they usually do have a show and tell or have something there. It's at Golden Corral and everybody seems to love it. It's growing. We've almost outgrown their little back room, which is absolutely amazing. Sometimes we have 30 people at that breakfast, which is absolutely incredible. We also have a problem of outgrowing our current facility. We meet at SCE TV downtown. We do not have our own clubhouse. And with our current membership and our meetings growing each month, we may soon find ourselves in need of a new location because they can only house 60 in that room. So we have other challenges ahead of us that are great problems to have, but they're just things that are really kind of kicking us right now. The Columbia Club is also looking to go nonprofit this year. So we are initiating that paperwork. It was just voted on at the last meeting, and we're going to be initiating that paperwork with the government and trying to get that done. So lots of different things for the 2 different clubs and, just trying to keep the hobby going, keeping lots of interest going. We have a couple of schools we're working with. One school that specializes with dyslexic students, which has been a challenge, and then another in Fairfield County that's trying to do a radio club there. So that we've got, like I said, lots of things going on, just in the shortage of volunteers. There's never enough people to do everything you want to do. But I can't even tell you everything on the club calendar because I think we have a swap fest next month. We are going to host the Doolittle Day event again next month. And then we also have the MS Walk next month. So in April, we're cranking up all the activities. We were going to have a 50th anniversary celebration. However, we found that our anniversary had already passed, happened during COVID. And because we found out our 50th anniversary with ARRL is next year, we have postponed it to next year to give us a full year to plan and really have a big blowout. And I have been pinging Margie Spangenberger from the Anderson Club, because I helped her several years back when their club did their big blowout, and we're trying to mimic a lot of what they did so we can have a really successful anniversary celebration in 2024. So lots of things in my brain. It's kind of overwhelmed, but we are just trying to stay busy and stay active and bring in as many hams as we can whenever we can.
Fantastic. Well, you give good pulse on both those clubs. Congratulations on the growth you guys are having in Columbia. I know I talked to Ted and Jim, and that's just fantastic. You guys are growing like that. If you need help with the MS Walk, let us know for communications. Our folks up here in York County like to travel for that kind of stuff. So, we're always up for going down and playing radio with somebody. So let us know if you need help with that.
Okay.
And we'll make sure we publicize your Swap Fest coming up, and I'm sure Gordon will put it out as well, and Mark with his reports. Anything in particular that you need help with, or that can put it out to the group?
Columbia Club, not really. Kershaw Club, I'm not sure how to do it, but if anybody has ideas how to help change those mindsets for those older folks, it'd be great, because it's really, to me, seems to be a real big stumbling block. That's why that club isn't growing. So I'm not sure how to help facilitate that growth in that area. They really have a lot of potential, but I don't think they see that.
Okay.
And they actually made some bylaw changes at the end of last year that were very, very restrictive. I couldn't believe they passed them, but they are just, they have very tunnel vision. They're very narrow-minded on a lot of their concepts. So just struggling to help them understand that that's not how you grow a club.
Yeah, that mindset's always tough to change, and we might be able to have some ideas to help you with that. So I'll reach out to you online from my experience with what the Y-Cars, what was going on. So we can probably help you there a little bit. And I'm sure there's other folks in here that can help you. I know Brian had an uphill battle when he joined down there at Chester. So I'm sure that he can probably give you some insight on that as well. Michael, N9 GSX, it's your turn, sir.
Trying to get it on here. There we go. Well, good evening, everyone. Appreciate you all being on here. And I missed the thing last night, but our boy had a minor accident, but he's okay. Glad to be here tonight. I'm currently the trustee of the Kiwi Talks Way Amateur Radio Club. And election time's rolling around, so hopefully I'll be president of the club again here in April. And our biggest issue, we're between 35 and 40 members. It kind of fluctuates back and forth. And like most clubs, less than a handful are the real doers and make things happen. And I think it was the York Club that published in QST some ideas of getting people involved, engaged, and that's what we're pursuing this coming next year, is more involvement of the members. We have seen growth over the last year. The current president was very active at communicating with folks. Couple of things that we've been working on over the last probably 5 years is bringing the groups of hams back together after a lot of, how do I want to say this, issues and division among the hams. And we've successfully been able to bring a lot of the hams back in and see time heals a lot of things, and you just have to show by your actions more than your words. And I think we've overcome a lot of that. One of the things we do in our VE test sessions, which is 2 different clubs go together on that, and we hand out to the new hams a list of all the upstate clubs that we have the information to, along with all the repeaters, frequencies, and Elmer phone numbers and things like that to the new hams as they get their tickets. And we have nets Monday through Friday. Thursday night, I'm the net controller, and we do a Tech Talk Thursday with the trying to get people more than check in negative and negative. And Thursday nights, we do a Tech Talk Thursday net and bring some topic to the net. And it's brought to the net in a way that encourages people to think about it, ask questions, or throw comments in. And it's had a huge success. So that's helped. We're going to work on getting the significant interest groups. I think that was one of the Y-Cars thing, perhaps, and get the subgroups within the club of interested things like the POTA and SOTA operators, get their group going, the technical group, get their group going. We want to incorporate, one of the groups is the club's social media and website, so that we kind of get people, if they're interested, to join that group and give them some tasks to do something such as update the web page and expand the web page, the presence on the Upstate Carolina Newsline, and things like that, to draw the members more engaged to what we're doing. We also host the field day every year, or try to, and we've done that successfully the last 2 years and hope to do that. We're on path to do that again this year. We have an annual holiday dinner, which we basically do away with the club meeting unless there's something that has to be done, and it's a night of fellowship and family at a dinner. That's worked real well. So those are kind of the things we've been doing and things we're looking to get into this year.
Well, thank you very much. I do appreciate that. And it was great. That's that. I know your club from social media, the Facebook page, and you guys seem to be very, very active on that. And so congratulations on that. And, we're all here to help each other out. So if you got specific questions or you need help, I'm sure this group would be glad to give you some suggestions on engagement and those kind of things. But it sounds like you've got it on the right track and moving along pretty well.
One other quick comment is we work diligently to promote joining clubs.
Yeah.
And we try to, the Anderson Amateur Radio Club, the Upstate Carolina Amateur Radio Club, and the Kiwi-Toxaway Amateur Radio Club, we try to treat anything any of the three are doing as is, hey, everybody, all inclusive. We announce what's going on with the other clubs on all of our nets and vice versa. And we're not concerned if you're our club member. We're concerned, are you a club member? And try to welcome everybody all directions. And because, not every club is for each individual hand. So we promote, go visit all the clubs around and see what fits your needs, and be aware it may change over time. So we really try to encourage the new hams to get paired up with someone to help them as an Elmer, a mentor, and because it can be quite daunting task to do it yourself. And we try to include everybody, whether they're members or not, and promote that.
Well, fantastic, Michael. That's kind of what the goal of this group I was hoping to have, is that mentality that we can, all work together to make a better ham experience for hams in the area. Sounds like your three clubs over there in the upstate are doing that. So it's fantastic. That's refreshing to hear that. So thank you for including that. Jim, go ahead and introduce yourself and go from there. Jim? Okay, maybe Jim stepped away from his computer. Matthew Crook, WM1MRC. It's your turn.
Come in here. I was messing with my images earlier. So I got the photo up there, but not me. I was trying to have me on there. But you can at least hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's the main thing. There. Here we go. I was writing some notes, so I'm going to try not to read verbatim. Other than Tammy and Ronnie, I don't know that any of y'all know me. Been in ham radio a while, but I've gotten out of it a few times, unfortunately. But I'm finally back in it. Back in it to stay. I'm in the Lexington County area. This January, I became vice president of the Ridge Amateur Radio Club. And last year, I started getting participating more with both the Columbia Amateur Radio Club and the Ridge Club. The Ridge Club, before I joined it, Buddy, I forget his call sign, was president, but passed while he was president a couple years ago. And so we had a vice president filled in, but just kind of not much occurred those 2 years. So we're trying to get things going again. The vice president was Trip Williamson, KG4UAL, so he's now president. So both of us trying to work together. I was and kind of started with the Ridge Club again because they were the first club. I got licensed with them. They used to hold classes at the middle school. And so I went there and got licensed in 97, member for a few years, and then moved away. And like I say, got out of ham radio a few times between college, getting married, having kids. Life got in the way. I sold all my radios a few times, but about 3 or 4 years ago, got back in VHF, UHF, just the repeater scene. But then I know a couple of you, John, for sure know my neighbor, AA4JW, and he introduced me to POTA at a time that I had no HF radios. So fast forward 2 years now, and I got 4 or 5 HF radios. So a few $1,000s later, and a lot of time, I had no HF interest, but I have fun with the POTA. Finally upgraded to extra last year as well, and just trying to focus not only just with our club, but the club's a great place to start, but just with ham members, to get people that have an interest to join the ham clubs, to get them radioactive, as they say. I've been following the one of the websites that lists all the new licensees for the area as they get licenses, and I'm checking the ones that are close to my zip code and reaching out to them. A lot of y'all may know that about QRZ and Gigaparts got together for that Jumpstart program. Initially, I think it was completely free. Now you got to pay for a little bit, but you still get a decent radio and a year membership to QRZ. So I think it's a good deal. So I try to get them to start there. And I tell them, put your email on QRZ if you're interested too, so we can reach out to you. But going off of the new ham call signs, I've been able to get 3 brand new hams or decently new hams to join the Ridge Club just by, locating them, reaching out. Ironically, all 3 of them were Michaels. So we've had 4 Michaels join the club this year. The 4th one somebody else brought in to the club. Make sure I'm ad-libbing here, make sure I didn't miss much. Like I said, the Ridge Club this year, we've started, a lot of people gauged interest, wanted some hands-on projects. So we started this year with working on building some HF balance, and we're going to work on some, copper J poles later in the year. Just, something to get people started. Hey, here's an easy, cheap way to get on HF and antenna, easy, cheap way to get on 2-meter 440. I can definitely agree with what Tammy was saying. The ham and eggs has been great with the Columbia Club. I've definitely been enjoying that. I also did talk to Mark about him visiting us later this year to, encourage everybody to join ARRL. Because I know, like I said, I joined in '97, and I think last year was my first year of ARRL membership. And, as time's gone on, I definitely see the benefit. Both we give the ARRL as well as what they give us. But yeah, and we want to work towards doing some VE sessions, get with the local clubs. Like I know Columbia and Greenwood and Kershaw have VE sessions. We used to. We want to start again and work with them. So hopefully at least every month, somewhere in the Midlands, you could go get tested. I think a big part getting NAMs active, joining the clubs, but then to get them active as in leadership roles, director roles, get them to do more stuff. Like I say, I'll definitely say with, once again, Tammy and Ronnie, I was going to the Columbia Club in the 2000s, early 2000s, and they were, great, doing great things with the club. And I, just kind of lurked. I enjoyed being there, but didn't step up in any role. And fast forward now, I definitely feel it's a time to step up. And other things we're looking into is, and maybe some people can speak to it, but a means to communicate outside of radio, just because some of us are spread out and there's so many things out there, but finding something that our younger hams as well as the older hams could both interact on. We looked at things like the groups IO, like the SC Ham Swap has. I know like POTA uses Slack. I know Discord's out there, but just finding something easy use for everybody, or at least as much as possible. And I know someone had mentioned about getting information out about the other clubs. It's been a back burner project a couple of years, so I really haven't pushed it at all because it was lacking. It's a little better, not a lot, but I did start a small site, just SC for South Carolina, schamradio.com. And I try to just put events on there. I'm not much on websites because they've gotten very technical from just the standard HTML days now with the JavaScripts and style tables. But one of the Michaels I picked up is a web designer for a living. So he's unknowingly, hopefully volunteering to assist me with that and take over and get that going. Last thing I will mention is, of course, the rookie roundup's coming up in April. And that's something I'm going to try to do is, invite a ham, new ham either to my station or to a park. And in our meeting coming up in March for our club, encourage them as well. Hey, we've got new hams in the club. Let's try to get them in this rookie roundups. I've looked at statistics for some of the recent ones, and the numbers, aren't that great, not that high. So I'm hoping, which I know COVID slowed a lot of things down, but I'm hoping, to do more, kind of like the South Carolina QSO party. I enjoyed participating in that this year, and this was the second time I've done it, but I tried to help drum up participation because the more people involved, the more fun it is. And lastly, I will mention the Ridge Club tailgate is coming up April 15th, and I'm trying to bill it as a ham radio day because the Columbia Club's Doolittle is that afternoon. So come join us in the morning, get a barbecue breakfast at Shirley's, hang out at the tailgate, chit chat, and then head downtown to the, I think it's still at the Armory for the Columbia Club's Doolittle Day. So yeah, ham radio day, tax day Saturday. But I think that's all I have. But yeah, John, thank you for hosting this and getting us all together.
Well, I'm glad to do it. And sounds like you got a lot going on. I don't know how you guys divide your time up between 2 and 3 clubs. I can't imagine it as deeply as I'm involved in just one club, and I'm not really in a leadership position anymore other than being the trustee. I don't know how you guys divide up, but sounds like you've got a lot going on there at the Ridge Club. And Groups.io, Swamp Fox uses that, and they've been very successful with that. In fact, sometimes I cuss because my mailbox blows up because we got so many conversations going on. Discord works really well. I'm involved in a couple Discords, although I have to turn it off during the day because people, I don't know how to get work done. So, but fantastic stuff. Okay, I've got the last 2 folks I have that haven't had a chance to speak are 2 folks from York County. That would be Theo, K4TTM. I'm going to give him a few minutes, and then I'm going to turn you over to our fantastic president, Hillary, and let her give her stuff going on. So go ahead, Theo.
Right. I apologize for my voice. John gave me his crud over the weekend, and as a result, I'm suffering. I sound just like him, right? Anyway, no kidding. My name's Theo. I'm Kilo 4 Tango Tango Mike. I'm vice president of the York County Club, the net control manager, Hamfest coordinator, and active participant in our youth engagement team. We're doing a lot with youth right now. We're getting into schools. We're starting basically start a club at Union County High School. We have a club there. We're putting together, we have made out to several schools in the area doing STEM presentations. We're helping Pleasant Knoll Middle School get out for the ARRL program. We facilitated. Now, don't make it sound like it's all me. We have one particular person in the club who's driving that, and I'm just helping a lot, as much as I possibly can. Yeah, we stay very active. We do a lot. Mostly, something Mark Tarpley said at a presentation a while back. Came to our club. Mark's sweating. He's scared what I'm going to say. He said, but what he said basically, and it's kind of our club baked into our club philosophy, is most people get licensed and they drop out within a year and they never touch a radio the whole time. Our goal is to put a mic in somebody's hands just as quickly as we possibly can and as often as we can. And the club very much supports all those kind of things. We're very heavily involved with Parks on the Air. We're massive fans. It's baked into our DNA. We don't have a formal contesting team per se, but we do have a contesting group, and we work very hard, and we love to activate and do contesting together. So our Hamfest, by the way, is October 7th. Everybody mark your calendars. Looking forward to that. That'll be a fantastic good time, as it always is. Let me see. I don't think there's anything else I really have, John. Thank you ever so much for putting this together. Back to you, sir.
Thank you, Theo. I appreciate it. And yeah, the work that we're doing with the youth is something else. Miss Hillary, the club's first female president in York County. I would love for you to tell us about what's going on over there.
Hey, everyone. I'm Hillary, AB1CD, president of YCARS this year. And Theo did a great job already kind of touting what we're doing. I think it's more of a question of what are we not doing. because I think we have a whole bunch of very passionate people that are involved in a whole bunch of different areas, from Aries to Yeti to just being involved with our club, helping with our ham shack, to our community service outreach group, and just to the club in general. We've got most people that are doing something amateur radio wise. If you were to ask me what I think our strengths are at YCARS, it would definitely be our community and our welcoming feel that you have. We've really focused on building a welcoming environment that people feel comfortable in. And I think that's an underrepresented and an understated phenomenon in amateur radio in general, is that we all have a need or some type of feeling to belong. And if you can tap into that for your specific group, it goes a very long way. I know when I first started amateur radio, John was trying to help rebuild YCARS. And if most of you don't know, my partner is Daniel, WD2DW. And when we joined YCARS, we both tried to quit more than once. And John very gently took us under his wing and was like, hey, relax, it's going to be okay. What are you guys interested in? And then he encouraged us to go do that. I love doing 2-meter stuff. I love races and getting outside and getting involved with radio. And from that, it really spawned a whole bunch of engagement. There's Daniel. He's just, it's blurry. I can unblur it. We started doing stuff and other people started following. I think Daniel and I were the first ones to go up to Kannapolis for a Christmas parade. And then we got David McLaren, and then we got Tim, and we just started encouraging other people to come join us. And so when I hear like Ed and Tammy ask, how do we get, or even Michael, how do you get people involved and how do you get people to come into your club? Find someone who's passionate about something and just encourage them. If they're interested in digital, encourage them to go that direction and push them that way. Don't try to force them into your own mold. And that was something John did very well at YCARS, and that has grown into what we do with the rest of our members. We try not to ask, what can you do for YCARS? It's more, what can YCARS do to help you? And that has been very successful. And then to touch on something that Ed was saying as far as recognition, I would encourage you to step back and look at your group and just kind of listen. But I would also not undervalue how much a certificate from you can go, how far that can go. I know at YCARS in the last couple of years, we started identifying what are the behaviors and things we want to encourage. And then we made certificates for that. So we made one that's the Innovation Award. We made another one that was the Technology Award. Our first year, we had, our most engaging net control operator award, and that was given to KA4WYC. John, help me. Jeff. Yeah, Jeff. And unfortunately, we were able to give him the award and he passed away. So now it's a silent key award that actually our members are really engaged with. And they're like, man, I really want to get that award because it has meaning to it. So my advice would be to listen to your group, and like maybe you have someone in your group that you want to recognize, and then you can name that after that person as an honor going forward. So don't underestimate just recognizing people in your own group. And I would also say, find out what your group likes to do for socializing. Don't take that out of the picture. I think those go hand in hand with amateur radio. As far as our struggles, I think we're in the same boat as everybody else as far as communication, because we're trying to find that sweet spot, and it's cross-generational. So we've got some people who are 100% website, some people who want it on Facebook, some people who want it in newsletters, some people who, want it in emails, some people who can't access their emails, some people who want text messages, other people's have dumb phones. So we're just trying to figure that out as well as everybody else is. We have found success with, John does a weekly YCARS Aware email that says, hey, here's everything that's going on in amateur radio. That's been a significant success, as well as keeping our website as up to date as possible. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have. If you have any questions, you're always welcome to reach out to me, ab1cd@ycars.org. And then I would also encourage any of you to join us for any of our YCARS meetings We have a group called the Wellness, Health, and Inclusion Committee that has 4 or 5 members on it. And I think that's been one of our stronger background committees to kind of listen to our members. We do a survey every year, digest it, and then bring that information back out. And that's been super helpful. So if you guys ever want to join or figure out or just sit in on a business meeting, we'll always send you the link, and would love to have you.
Fantastic, Hillary. I'll add a couple more things from the YCAR's perspective. One of the things we do is during VE testing, we bring an officer in to make sure that they are welcoming everybody, whether they're a member or not a member, new ham. Find out, talk to the people who are new hams, figure out why they're testing, encourage them, do a clubhouse tour. Of course, it's a little easier when you have a clubhouse like Chester does and we do. But if you're testing in a facility, I would encourage one of your officers to sit down and talk to these folks and welcome to the hobby. And then also we do a giveaway. We have had the luxury of having somebody donate radios. So we have a it's a handheld. It's no gray shakes. It's a UV88. Buy two-way radios did us a deal where we buy 6 at a time, and we give out a radio to one person, one new tech at the VE testing, and that does a lot. I cannot state enough about engagement, right? Whether they're a new ham or just a ham that's joined your club, the reason these people are coming to the hobby, the reason they're coming to your club is they want engagement, right? They want to learn and they want to be part of something. So the more you can engage them, and we have used POTA on a quarterly basis, a monthly basis, to get out there and get people in the field. If you don't have a clubhouse, that's a perfect opportunity. Just do a club POTA thing and bring everybody out to a park and operate in a park. And that can be a relaxed environment too. They can get some mentoring there. They can learn about putting up antennas. That's a great thing. We have an open house every Wednesday night at the clubhouse. So we welcome the public, anybody who wants to come by, learn about ham radio, ham member, non-members, whatever. Come on by our clubhouse and we just hang out and talk ham radio. We get them on the air in the radio room. We build and do projects, those kind of things. We do have some things that we're trying to put together, which may be a regional kind of thing. So we may want to talk some of the other clubs is we're looking at doing some kind of possibly a makers fair along with the Ham Fest, or some kind of group deal where we're all engaged as different clubs, bringing members in and educating people and sharing resources. So that would be another thing we're working on. But from the YCAR standpoint, the 2 most important things we did was making it a welcoming environment. So Tammy, to your point where you're talking about the folks down there in Kershaw, the thing I did with YCARs, and this was, I didn't feel really welcome the first time I walked in the door. And I met one person who was willing to talk to me. And after having a conversation with that person and realizing the potential with the club, I made it a point. I didn't care if I knew anybody or not. I stood at the door the next meeting and shook everybody's hand as they came in the door and introduced myself and made sure that they felt welcome. And I was a brand new member. So that's kind of what you're probably going to have to do down there at Kershaw, is just kind of lead by example and do something similar to that. But engagement and the welfare, health and happiness inclusion group that we have that Hillary runs for the club has been a dynamic success. If you're not talking to your club about what they want to do and the kind of communication they want and what they're feeling, and if you don't have your finger on that pulse, if you're not doing a quarterly or a semi-annual survey of the club, or even an annual survey to see what's going on and what the club's appetite is, you're missing out an opportunity there. That has been a key to our success in York County. So not that we have all the answers, but we've kind of reinvented the wheel, going from 36 members in 2016 to about 140 now in 2023. And it's not been just one level of effort. It's been effort from everybody in the club. We're, whatever we can do to help anybody else. And I've took a lot of notes here, and there's a lot of good ideas. Matthew gave me some great ideas. Tammy, you gave me some great ideas. The gentleman from Kiwi Tuxaway. Man, that was some great stuff, Michael. Thank you very much. And, so we're all here to help each other. If you found value to this thing, I want to try and do it maybe on a quarterly basis and include and encourage other clubs. And if your officers, other officers can come and share what you've got going on, great. One of the other things is I'm going to do is I do a newsletter every month for our club. If you have something you'd like our club to have and put into our newsletter, please send it on to me and I will include it. I'm going to do a little piece of the newsletter, just call it Around the State. And we'll include that if you've got, articles or whatever. One other thing I would encourage you to do is reach out to the other clubs. If you guys do programs every month, there are plenty of guys and gals in this state who absolutely do great presentations. And with the advent of Zoom and all these ability to do virtual visits, be glad to do presentations, share resources. We've got some folks in our club that do great stuff. And I've had folks from the other parts of the state come in. So maybe that'd be another way we can help each other or share our resources for technical presentations. So I don't have anything else. Is there anybody else who'd like to interject or have anything else to add?
John, this is Mike. Feel free to post stuff to that Upstate Carolina Newswire.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of people that read it. And we found out there's people reading it that aren't hams too, which is fine.
And that is a website, or is that a Facebook page? Or
oh Lord, you're going to ask me that. I'm not one of those guys, but I believe it's on Facebook. It's
okay, I'll take a look at it.
Upstate Carolina Newswire.
Okay, fantastic.
If I'll find out for sure and send it to you. How's that?
Fantastic. I appreciate it, Michael. Tammy, you had something?
I was just going to thank you for putting this together and offer my services for any club struggling with Facebook. That is the one area where I seem to have been able to really push through learning some PR stuff from another organization. So if your club needs help with Facebook pushes and getting your Facebook up and running and keeping it running so that you have content, let me know, because I can easily push stuff out I can add another club to my list and push things out when I'm pushing things out to the ones that I already help admin.
Fantastic. Well, anything you want to put on ours, just let us know and we can certainly give you access to it to put stuff out there. We do a pretty good job of keeping it active, but it never hurts to you can never have too much content. Let's put it that way. Anybody else have anything?
Brad has a question.
Brad, sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't see your hand there, sir.
No, that's fine. Getting back to what you're talking about, Michael, getting information out. Hearing this, I'm thinking a central location might work the best. So everybody's in the loop. Does that seem like a good idea?
Absolutely.
Okay. And for a shameless plug, the section's Facebook page, because we're always looking for content. That we have also a group. We haven't really utilized the group, which is a little more private. If you want to expand on that way we can see stuff and get that out. It's a little bit easier to share after it's already on that platform. Okay. And that's something we can talk about a little bit later if you want to do that, but offering that out there.
And I know Gordon's got the PIO newsletter. Gordon, I think I include you on our email every month. You're allowed to grab our newsletter. Please feel free to grab anything. And if anybody want to be included on that list for our newsletter, just let us know and we'll include you on the distribution list. And if you see something in there that, we have guys that do project things. We do our Why Cars Aware. We're going to have the Around the State thing. We do a contest calendar. Any of those things, you can feel free to grab and just put them into your newsletters as well. We're going to start hosting it on our website. Jason and I are working on that. But if you want to be included on it, we'll be glad to share it with you, and you can grab whatever you want off of there and reprint it into yours newsletter. If you need content, we're glad to help with that.
Okay, John, and if you want to snag anything out of mine, please feel free to do so.
Absolutely. Thank you. Anybody have anything else?
John, just one thing.
Yes, sir.
but I was mentioning, for our club, trying to find an online way to communicate with each other.
Mhm.
Even if it's just email, maybe we could look for something with this group as well. Because, I hate to think, March, we don't meet again until June. It's almost field day time just to keep the energy going.
Well, if you think the cadence, if you would like the cadence to be quicker, we can try and do something every 6 weeks or monthly if you want to try it. I don't want to be too much burden on people's time, but we can also, we can also set up if people are amenable to Facebook or an groups IO, we can certainly set something up. I'm sure it wouldn't be a problem to get a statewide IO going.
Even a Discord.
Or Discord, yeah. I don't think that would be very difficult, and I'd be glad to try my technical skills of getting that set up.
That sounds great.
Okay. Anybody else? Anything else? All right. Well, thank you all for coming. I hope we got something out of this. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Just some text, just some information coming in via the chat. I'm sorry. But thank you all for joining us. I'm glad we were able to get together. I hope you found this useful, and I'll put out another invitation. We'll try it when we try it maybe next month and see what happens and see what kind of response we get. And hopefully we'll get some of the other clubs in the state to share what they're doing as well. I know the folks down at Trident have had luck at getting a grant, and I think there was a couple other states, clubs in the state that got grants. So I'd like to hear about what they're doing with that money as well for engagement. So again, fantastic, and I appreciate everybody's time.
Thank you, John. Appreciate you getting
Thank
everybody.
you, John.
Thanks, John. 73.
73. All.
Thanks, John.
Thank you,
Thank you.
John.
Have a great night.
73.